Hi everyone. Let me talk about accessing data. Actually, the first step involved in any text analytics process is about accessing the data. That means bringing the data into the platform, right? Or you can call it as reading the data, right? In this part of the session, we're focusing on how to kind of read from different files. It could be from documents or it could be from web. We will also learn about some scraping and all that. But right now, let me focus on how to import text into the system. So, as you all know, reading the text, the system KNIME platform actually takes for all the processing. You need something called as a document. I think I already discussed with you regarding what is the difference between a document and a string. So a string with the sufficient metadata is called as a document. So how do we do it is what we are going to see. So we have mainly in the KNIME, the readers as we call it are the orange color node, which kind of reads the data from the uh, document or a dynamic repository or from the cloud. All of them are actually orange in color. This is color coded to kind of understand uh, better, right? So there are many reader nodes: CSV reader, Excel reader, table reader, or other complex file formats. One thing that you should note is that all these reader file nodes return the text in the string data type. So if you have something in the, so for example, in an Excel sheet, a sentence that is captured as a string. So now the question is, since all of the subsequent part of the algorithms will need a document to kind of process. So you have the file readers capturing it as a the kind of, this is how it will be. It will be just a string, right? So every row will have rows and columns. Some it will have some columns. This is having 7 columns. So one of the columns, the data will be there. Right now we have to convert into something called as a document. So how do we do it is a question. So in this process, we have to do the tokenization also, right? So basically, what are we trying to do? We are letting the system understand and add a lot of metadata into the string so that it becomes a encapsulated document, right? So a document contains a tokenized text and the document meta information such as title, authors, etc. This is the metadata I was saying. So the document tokenization produces a hierarchical structure of the text items: sections, paragraphs, sentences, and words. So this is kind of understanding the system, the process of actually understanding it, kind of what part belongs to what paragraph, what kind of attaching it with metadata so that it is helpful in the further process. So the basic document, so you need, the system needs a document file format to kind of further process it. So the node which helps us in this process is called as strings to document node, right? So what do? We I think I already spoke to you about tokenization. Tokenization can be understood from a kind of pizza analogy I was saying. So tokenization is like cutting a pizza, right? You have the whole corpus, the whole text, whether it is from an email or from any document. The whole text is a pizza, right? You have to slice it into small pieces for the further processing, for it to understand, right? For it to analyze, right? So token is a smallest unit of text. So it could be a word, it could be a combination of word, or it could be even a sentence or even a character based on the kind of tokenization algorithm that you are looking at, right? So one or two examples are given: word tokenization and sentence tokenization. So what happens is, how do we do it? So there are many tokenizer algorithms I was saying. Mainly, maybe I'll tell you two main tokenizers. One is, say for example, I'm using English word tokenizer. So how is it splitting the sentence? So it is capturing it as I is separate token and apostrophe M is another token, enjoying is another token. So let's skip to another tokenizer algorithm called as white space tokenizer. So it is kind of capturing anything that is between two white spaces is taken as a token, right? So there could be many. So one of the most popular one is actually the Open NLP English word tokenizer. So there are many, right? So you will find for different languages also there are many. So that's about tokenizing, right? So breaking down into kind of pieces and understanding uh, so that it can be later analyzed well, right? So basically what I'm trying to tell is this string to document also includes a tokenizer algorithm, right? So basically what is it doing? It is taking the strings and it is kind of converting into an encapsulated document, adding some metadata, right? So let's look at how the configuration works, right? So let's do this. I'll talk about it during the exercise. Let's look at this particular exercise. I think I did it last class and we will understand. I think I was a little fast. So it was last, I think last 5 minutes or something I did. Yeah, so this is basically what is a, there are, let's import a text from a particular file. It's a very native file type called as .table, uh, which is a default format for KNIME platform. So what we have to do is let's import this, right? Then we have to convert into string to document and filter it also, right? So let's do the first thing. Say let's take what do you say, table reader. A table reader is required, so table reader comes and I drop into the workspace. So I have to also tell where is the file, right? Where is the file? I have to specify the file. Maybe I think I kept it in um, the same folder which is given to you. I will go there and tag open the file. So as you can see, it's a some preview is given, so you know that there are many. It's a review file text. I think it's a review from TripAdvisor. So there are username, review title, user text is there, then stars are given, restaurants are given, the name of the restaurant is given there, whether Italian restaurant or a Chinese restaurant, that's also mentioned, right? So we just apply and we have imported the data. How do you know it is imported? We can have a table reader, table view. I think it's goes by different names in different versions of the software. So we'll run it and kind of we can see it, right? You can review it here also. Bottom also you can see the small previews there, but this is how it is. So our 7 columns, about 597 rows, right? This is where the text is actually there, review text, right? So just browse through the data. So there are Chinese restaurants and Italian restaurants and people who have given the reviews. So that's the text, right? So what do we do next? So I think we have to convert it to document. So let's convert it into document by adding string to uh, document. Yeah, strings to document, I'm adding it. So but you have to specify, it's not configured properly, so that's the red signal which is shown. So configuration, I have to tell now what do we configure. So what is the process here? The string is getting converted into an encapsulated document which also contains metadata, right? So if you have a title column, you can specify. Here we have a review title, otherwise you can put a row ID or even you can put it as empty string. Since we have a review title, we will give the review title, right? So the text, where is the text? It is asking. Text is in the review text, so we specify the column. Document source, it's, we can add it. Actually this is TripAdvisor. All these are metadata, okay? This is a meta information block, right? TripAdvisor is where we have got this data because we know from the title. And if you have it from the some column, you can specify that. We don't have it there, so use category. Category is there. We are categorizing it to Italian and Chinese. Author is also there, so there is username is taken as author. All these are columns, right? You remember from the document. So then you can type the type and date. I think we'll just leave the date. If you want to change the date, you can add that also. These are all the meta information. Okay, so it's you're trying to encapsulate the document. So now there is we are kind of this after the end of this process, there will be a new column added which will contain the document. So we'll have to define that also. That's usually, it's by default it appears document, and that's where finally the tokenizer algorithm, right? We can choose. I think I will choose the first one, which is quite popular. If you want to change it in a different way, that you can add it. I think this works for many of the tasks, so you can just click OK. So and run it. So it has actually performed it. Okay, so now you can see that there are 8 columns. The last column is actually the document column. Now it is not very visible. You can look at here. It is just you might think that it is Italian with pizza. It's the same title, but it's an encapsulated document. So what do we do is we can add a filter, a column filter, which filters only the last column newly which is added. So that's document. Exclude everything but include this, right? So this filters it, and let me run it. So you have the filters working. So we have only one thing, right? So now how do we see this, right? That's where you need a document viewer. So a document viewer is there. A document viewer, you don't need to configure. Just have to specify the document column, right? So which is only one column is there, you don't have to do anything there. So we run it and we see what is the outcome, right? So we go here, maybe double click. So now we can see what is there in the document, right? So you can search for certain things, or if you want to later, I think we will see how this is helpful. You can also view whether if there is any tag, sentiment tag, or POS tag is there. We can see. I think I can show you. Um, that will be helpful. I'll just show you now. And also you can see all the document information, publication date, unknown, TripAdvisor. These are the things which we added. Authors, right? Meta information, other meta information. I think we don't have any. So we can just browse through. There are different. So it's the document viewer, right? So let me show you another use of it. Okay, maybe I want to add, I think we spoke about POS tagging. We just will add a POS tagger here. I'll speak about it later. I just want to show how this actually works, right? We are adding POS tagger, and what it does is it's an enriching process. So it will identify the nouns or pronouns and adjectives from the text, right? So I will just configure it, so nothing is to be done, right? So you have to specify replace the column, or I think I'll append the column, or let me replace it only, right? That's okay. Apply, and we'll run it. Okay, now I'll show you something. So this is, we will get a tagged document viewer. Okay, let's run it. Yeah, it's done, and I'll show you something interesting. Yeah, so if you see all these things, the first document, it is identified all the, it's very colorful, it's identified all the tags in the reviews, right? So you can, every word has been identified, right? So that's what tagging does. So you can also see it in ordinary document viewer also. So let's see document viewer. If you run it here, you can see, if you go inside, since I've done tagging, so I can go here to search, and here I can change highlighting to POS, right? POS is, we have done a POS part of speech tagger. So I can, if I press on this tag button on off, so it will kind of show, so every word, so it is POS what is the, it's a noun, recommendation is a noun here. So all these conjunction, all these things are added,